So let's start with some breathing. It's been feeling very strongly to me, although we did have an inch of snow today, that it's spring in spite of that inch of snow. And because it's spring, it's a good time to really work on the liver and gallbladder meridians in Chinese medicine. So Yin Yoga gets into those meridians. If you do poses specifically that kind of open those meridians in the body, so that'd be the side of the body for the gallbladder and the inner thigh into the groin, so into the psoas, and then up like into the liver for the liver meridian. And I will warn you that when we work with these meridians, when they're out of balance, which I imagine they are for all of us, anger will come up. Anger is just part of it. That's the liver and gallbladder meridian. But when it comes into balance, maybe you'll start to shift into some compassion. Fingers crossed. But it's okay. You let the emotions come up and know that they were stored in there, and it's all good. So let's see. Let's start. If you are comfortable on your back, go to your back. Otherwise, you're welcome to stay upright in a seated position. We're going to start with some awareness of our breath. So the Yin practice, what I love about it is if you're not a big meditator, or even if you are, this is a great gateway into meditation. It's a very beautiful practice for going inward, becoming aware of what's going on, meeting what you find in a new way. There's a lot of space in a Yin practice. So to begin, let's close our eyes if that's comfortable for you. If you're sitting upright, you can gently let the heart space lift, allow the shoulders to soften. If you're lying down on the mat, then just draw the shoulders away from the ears and lengthen your low back. Make sure it doesn't feel crunched. And then tuning into your breath. Feeling the breath as it comes into the body and as it leaves the body. The breath is always through the nose, unless you have the need for a sigh, or it just feels appropriate to release some tension, you can exhale out the mouth. As you do this practice, things will come up. It's an internal practice. It doesn't matter so much what the pose looks like, it's what you're feeling. What are you experiencing in the pose? You may find that an elongated breath can be quite soothing. So let's do that for the next minute, sipping the air in slowly as the belly softens, with a relaxed torso, long breath all the way up, filling belly, rib cage, upper chest. And then on the exhale, gently emptying, so gently softening the belly, softening the ribs, softening the upper chest. The important thing with this long breath is that it's relaxed. So let's do that for a couple more rounds. From that relaxed, centered place, gently blink the eyes open. If you're on your back, gently roll to your side. Take a breath there, and then make your way up. We're all going to come into child's pose. So taking the knees wide, big toes are touching. Sinking the hips back towards the heels, tuck the tailbone, and then slowly maybe reaching the arms out straight, letting the forehead come to the mat, or maybe instead to a cushion. Now that's one way to do it. All of our bodies are different. So you may find that yours needs to look a little bit more like a puppy dog, where the hips are high and the forehead is resting on the floor or on a pillow, maybe even a pillow under the chest. So the yin practice is happening on the inside. It's all about exploring and feeling and staying tuned into yourself. So because of that, there's really no way to do this practice wrong. The only thing that would be wrong would be doing this practice where you feel pain and not moving. Because the idea is to explore the body, feel what sensations are going on there. And get a better relationship with yourself through that. We're halfway through this pose. Start to slowly deepen the breath, inhaling to come up to all fours. Give yourself permission to make other movements if you need to. We're going to lower all the way down to belly. And you have the option of one of two poses, either the Sphinx or the Seal. So Sphinx is where the feet are as wide as the mat, the elbows are under the shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades down the back, lift the heart, lengthening the back of the neck. So if you feel like your shoulders are coming forward, check your elbow. You probably want to move it a little bit more forward. If you feel any strain in your neck, that's a sign that the shoulders might be rounding forward. Good. If this is not enough for you, you're welcome to take the hands a little wider, straighten the arms, and come into a seal. With the Yin Yoga poses, we find our comfortable edge, and then we resolve ourselves to stay still and go inward in the pose, which is really where everything happens. we gain a better understanding of ourselves. We learn to meet life challenges in a different way. We're staying here for 2 more minutes. Staying present with what comes up. Not getting caught in the thoughts. Coming back to the sensations. Using the breath. It is just a thought that this is getting too hard. Stay with the breath. Just a couple more. Taking a big inhale, and on your exhale, opening the elbows wide, stacking the hands under the forehead, maybe waving the feet in the air. And then taking 3 big breaths, melting onto the floor, letting all of that go. When that feels complete, tuck the toes, draw that low belly in, push up to all 4s, and make your way to your back again. Coming into passive rest pose. With the heels under the knees, the feet hip width apart, lengthening the back of the neck, draw the shoulder blades down the back. Take a big inhale, and on the exhale, hugging that right knee in and swinging the right ankle over the left thigh. The toes are gently drawing back toward the knee, and the right hand rests on the thigh. Watch that the pelvis stays in one line. However, Yin Yoga is not so much about alignment. If that feels like that's a more appropriate stretch for you or giving you the sensation you need, stay there. If you'd like to go deeper, placing a cushion or a block under your left foot can give you a little bit more height. Or if you'd like to go even deeper, interlacing the fingers behind the knee or behind that left thigh. With Yin Yoga, we're stretching the fascia that holds the muscles. We're actually getting flexibility for our ligaments, which can get stiff with inactivity. So as we breathe and relax into these poses, what we gain when we're in our daily life is grace and movement and more comfort and stillness. Deepen the breath. If the left foot is lifted, gently place it back on the floor. Bring the right foot back to join. Take a moment here, just feeling the difference between your left and right side. If you need movement, go for it. And then when you're ready, drawing your left knee into your chest on the exhale breath and swinging the ankle over that right thigh, drawing the toes back toward the knee. The left hand can gently push the knee open. See if your hips feel okay. That's what you want. We're looking for that comfortable edge because we're holding this for a few minutes. So maybe the foot is on a block. Maybe the foot, the hands are interlaced around that right leg, the thigh, whatever gives you an appropriate stretch. There shouldn't be discomfort. Soften the face. Relax what is able to be relaxed. And connect to the breath. The breath can aid us in relaxing and letting go into the pose. Deepening the breath to slowly come out of the pose. Stretching the legs out as wide as the mat, reaching the arms out wide. Finding the breath again here. One more big breath. And on the exhale, slowly arms down, bend the knees and roll to one side. We want to move very slowly in a yin practice. In your own time, slowly press into the top hand and inhale to come up to all fours. Now this first pose is a pigeon. So you can do this and make it a little safer for your knee if you take your right knee to the outside of your right wrist and the heel stays in by the groin and you don't take it very high at all. So some people take their foot high, high, high. Keep it close to the groin. Tuck the back toes and sink your hips back. And this may be a comfortable place to hold for your knee. Now, if you know your knee doesn't like this, go back to the previous pose. You have two options here. You might find that you're feeling just what you need. Because remember, each of us has different things going on. If you need something different, you might want to try folding forward onto the forearms, or maybe coming all the way down. So change it up to what you need. We usually hold the pose, whichever pose we choose, and then work with what comes up. The challenge is the body telling you it doesn't like this. Very common. And we breathe and we resolve ourselves to stay still. That said, if there's pain, you have permission to move. Last few breaths. Slowly deepening the breath. And to get out of this pose, we're actually going to roll onto our right hip. And then slowly bending that left knee, come to seated. Now let's grab a cushion because you'll probably need to be sitting up on something. So if you have any injuries with your knees with this one, I'll give you a modification. You don't want to torque your knee. Your left foot is going to be by your right hip. The right foot's going to go all the way by the left hip, and the knees are going to stack. This is called cow face pose. So in Yin Yoga, sometimes you want to really embody the animal of the pose. And that helps us get a little bit more tuned into who we are. So cows, everyone. If this is not accessible for you, another option is to take that front foot in front and just not cross it. And if there's issues with the knee, you're going to take square pose instead, where you take the knee, stack the legs in front of each other, or bring that right foot in front of the left. And especially for hip replacements, you don't want to cross the midline. So lots of variations, you find what works for you. We're holding these poses for a little shorter than usual, about 3 minutes, but there's a lot of them. So feel it in your body. Send your breath where you feel the sensation. If you need more of a sensation, a gentle hinge from the hips can give you just that little bit more that you need. Find your pose. We are giving the body the space to open as we hold these poses. But we're also giving the mind an opportunity for presence. Stay with what comes up. Notice it. And then come back to the body and letting go. If you're leaning forward, inhale to slowly come up. And then with the exhale, take your left arm out to the side. Inhale, reach the right arm up. And then exhale to reach over toward the left. So you can put a block under your hand or a cushion if you're not comfortable with getting that left hand to the floor. Bend your elbow and let your right hand just rest behind the head. We're getting into those gallbladder meridians, gallbladder, our will, our decision making, all down the side of the body. Stay in your experience. Notice that you can send your breath places. You can soften areas all the time. If there's tension, notice that you can soften that. 1 more minute here. Last few breaths. Inhale to slowly release that right arm down. Take it down nice and slow and come all the way back up. Stretch the left leg out straight in front. Two options here, either staying with the right knee over the left leg, or if the knee issues are present and this isn't right, just come into Janu Shirshasana. Sometimes the thigh doesn't want to cross over, so it's Janu Shirshasana is a better one anyway. Pillows under the knees if you need. Ultimately, this practice is done, it's unique, it's happening for you. Inhale to get tall, and then exhale, gently fold forward. You can round the upper back here. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. The right foot is towards the right hip, and the knees are stacked only if that's okay for your body. When thoughts get a hold of you, it's normal. When you notice them, simply find your breath again and use the breath to sink deeper into the pose. Halfway through. Deepening the breath, inhaling to come up. Coming into half Lord of the Fish, bend that right knee so the foot is flat on the floor. On the outside of the straight leg or on the inside, especially if you have a hip replacement, right? You don't cross the midline. Then the left foot goes back to where it was before, or keep it straight if that's better for your knee, right? The practice is inward, so adjust. We're going to do a twist. Inhale to get tall, and then exhale, allow your left hip to move with you. We're twisting toward the right. You can hug that right knee in with your left arm, letting the shin come into the elbow crease. And then the right hand can go behind the back, either to the floor behind you or rest it behind the back. 2 minutes here. Finding your comfortable pose. Working with it by staying aware of all the sensations, the feelings, the emotions. Keeping the breath gently moving to encourage the movement of the chi and the release of energetic blockages, stored emotions and traumas. Inhaling to slowly come out of that. Well done. I probably don't need to tell you we have two sides. So coming back to all fours, the whole series of serious releasing. Again, on the other side, taking your left knee to your outside of your left wrist. The left heel can come in towards the groin. You don't need to take the foot any higher unless you're comfortable with that. Scooch your back foot, that right foot back. And this may be where you want to stay for pigeon, or onto the forearms. See how that feels in your body. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Or opening the elbows wide, resting the forehead on the hand. If this is not appropriate for your knee, go back to that figure four shape we did on our back and put your left ankle over your right thigh. And that will keep your knee safest, and you'll still get a similar stretch for the body. 2 more minutes here. Is there anything that can let go? Any unnecessary gripping in the jaw or the face or the shoulders? Lengthening that breath halfway through. Well done. Inhale to slowly start to push the body up. From here, we're going to roll onto our left hip and then swing the legs around. Coming back to seated with a cushion. If you choose, you don't need to have one, but it does help for alignment and avoid the rounding in the low back, because you never want to have rounding in your lower back. For this one, the left knee is going to be on top, so your right foot's going to be by the left hip as far as it's willing to go. And then we take that left foot over the right and then start to scooch the foot back. Now remember, hip replacements, knee issues, this may not be appropriate, so you can come into a cross-legged pose and do a forward fold there, or do the fire log that I demonstrated before. So inhale to get tall and maybe fold slightly forward if you need to get more of a stretch. You may not need one. I like to take the first minute to just explore the pose and see what my body needs right now. Because the more yoga that you do, the more you recognize that every moment is different. This pose will never be done this way again. Noticing where the mind is, bringing it back to the body and the breath. Inhaling to come back upright. Softening those shoulders. And then right arm outside. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, come to elbow is usually nice for the shoulder. So we're getting into the left side. That's not to say that's the only place you will experience this. This Yin Yoga practice is also helping the physical body with improving the range of motion in our joints. So if you find that a position isn't the most comfortable, oftentimes it's the most therapeutic. In your own time, slowly inhaling to come up, keeping that left elbow bent as you take the arm down, and then stretching the right leg out straight to come into half cow face forward fold, staying here, or come into Janu Shirshasana with the foot against the thigh. Listen to your body. It will tell you the wisest position to adopt. And it doesn't have to be anything I'm saying either. Inhale to get tall, and then exhale to gently fold forward. You can round the upper back here. And you'll know whether rounding is really appropriate for you by what you're feeling on the inside. What does your body tell you? Two more minutes here. breaths, letting go a little more. Inhaling to slowly come up. Bringing that left foot so it's flat on the floor, bending the right knee and placing the heel by the left hip or not. Keep it straight. Maybe keep the left foot to the inside of the leg. Listen to your body and to your pelvis. Your hips will tell you if it's not right. Inhaling to get tall and then exhaling, hooking that left shin with the right elbow, reaching the left hand to the floor behind you or around to the low back of the hand to the low back, turning the head, softening the shoulders, taking a few more moments to just check, is this right? Letting that right hip move forward a little bit into the twist. Then 2 more minutes here. Finding the present moment by staying with the body. Staying with all the sensations. Watching the rhythm of the breath. Discomfort arises, see if you can send your breath there. Shifting any sensation. Soften the face a little more, space between the eyebrows and the jaw. Inhaling to slowly come out of that twist. Taking the legs, shaking them out a little bit. Our hips are going to thank us, but there is just one more intense hip pose, and that's the fire log I was describing before. So your left shin's going to be parallel to the front of your mat. The foot is flexed. The right foot, you can try first by just taking it in front of the left knee and letting the knee come down as far as it's willing to go. You can put a pillow or something under the knee if it feels like it's too much strain. Eventually, what we're going for is the left foot over that, the right foot over that left knee into that fire log shape. And then inhaling to get tall, exhaling, maybe hinging from the hips. Now it's a long held pose. So if it doesn't feel right, even cross-legged, where you just kind of move the ankles further away from you, would be a good modification. And then closing the eyes can really help us go inward and stay with the sensations that are coming up. Allow the emotions, allow the thoughts even. halfway through. Sometimes we do need muscle engagement to protect that knee, so flexing the feet and keeping them flexed will keep your knees safe. Send your breath where you're feeling this. Last few breaths. Open the jaw, soften a little more. Well done. Inhale and slowly start to come out. Ooh. You can wave the feet a little bit. This is a tough one to know we have two sides for, but we do. So let's bring that right foot so that the shin is parallel to the front of the mat. And then bring the left foot either in front of it or either all the way up. Inhaling to get tall, exhaling, maybe you need to move forward, make the pose work for you. Pillows under the knee if you need. Seating cross-legged if that's giving you the right sensations. Staying in your body with everything that comes up. Inhaling to slowly bring the body upright again. Untangling the legs. Ooh. Maybe moving the knees a little side to side. Someone described it to me as the exquisite agony of getting out of a yin pose. That might not be right, but it could apply. And then from here, we're going to make our way to lying down for a reclined butterfly. So if you have a bolster, you can put that under your knees. And then your knees will be supported. The soles of the feet will come together and the knees will open out wide. Otherwise, You can do this without the bolster. So the bolster makes it a bit more restorative, and without the bolster, it makes it more yin-y. The soles of the feet are together, the knees open out wide, and the arms sweep along the floor, and then the elbows bend. If the hands come off or the forearms, you open the arms out until they touch the floor. Sometimes we need cushions under those knees. Staying here for a little bit longer. A 3-minute hold. Encouraging the letting go, the release. By staying with the breath. Lengthening it. And sending it to the areas that are tight and perhaps gripping, like the hips, the hip creases, the shoulders, the face. Start to deepen the breath. Reaching the arms down, helping the knees come back up, and drawing both knees into the chest. A nice thing to do at the end of any practice to release the low back is a few rounds of Apanasana. So with the hands on the shins or on the kneecaps, inhale as the arms straighten. Start that exhale and then pull the belly in and the thighs into the chest. Inhale, straightening. Exhaling, pulling in 2 more. And then when you finished your last one, maybe rocking a little side to side before getting ready for final relaxation. So you're welcome to do any restorative pose that you like. Shavasana is the classic for final relaxation, but having something under the backs of the knees and the thighs where the knee and thigh meet, that can feel really lovely. You don't have to do that. A pillow under the head, eye pillow or scarf over the eyes, even some weight on the abdomen. If you have heavy blankets, you can just grab whatever you have near you, even a pillow, a couch cushion. And sometimes that extra weight on the abdomen can be quite soothing for the nervous system. Once you've found your comfortable position, finding your breath. And just watching the body breathing. Staying with the sensations in your body and encouraging letting go. So that you feel every part of the body relaxing, softening, melting, letting go. Deepening the breath first, maybe with a sigh. Before waking up the body with small movements, fingers and toes, and bigger movements, wrist circle, ankle circle, maybe a full body stretch. Oh, the big yawn. Before rolling onto one side, making a pillow, and taking a few moments there. In your own time, using as few muscles as possible, bring the body to a comfortable meditative pose. So maybe it's on the back, or maybe it's in a chair, or maybe seated. Whatever's comfortable for you. And then once again, close the eyes and tune inward. Let the heart lift gently. Draw the palate back, the back of the throat back. Let the shoulders soften. And feel the breath moving in the body. Start to lengthen the breath. Inhaling for a count of 4 and exhaling for a count of 8. So making your exhale as close to double of the inhale as possible. Takes some practice to really let the air out very slowly. Relaxing the effort with the breath, leaving the hands on the lap or drawing them to heart center. Closing as always with the invaluable gratitude and appreciation practice. Letting the mind go to a few things in your life that you're appreciative for and saying them silently now. Closing with the vibration of Om 3 times. If you'd like, you can unmute, but we're already in such a meditative position. I understand reaching for the tablet or computer might be too much. When you do this Om, remember that it's a vibration, so you want to feel the vibration from the chest. It's a deep sound as it vibrates out into every cell, promoting health. The sound, which is shorter, it's more felt in the head. It's great for the mind and the mood. And the entire sound reverberates in the space around us, clearing that space. 3 ohms. Let's exhale. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste.